So I'm going to take yellow ochre, ultramarine violet, cadmium yellow light to paint this leaf in here, or those leaves here. So I'm going to start with yellow ochre, and I'm going to put a bit of ultramarine violet in it. And because we're working on black, once we're done, sorry, you can't see probably because of the light. It should be darker on this side here. So ultramarine violet will give you that darkness. Okay. I'm picking up a bit of more ultramarine violet in here with my yellow ochre or yellow oxide if you don't have yellow ochre. Yellow oxide will work very well too. So I'm trying here to have a darker side. It's going to dry darker because acrylic dries darker and because it's on black. So it's perfect. That's what we know. We want it to be really dark in here. So you see, I'm keeping a distance. I mean, like I'm keeping away from here, this side, because I'm going to increase the amount of yellow ochre on this side. This is where you see more light. But still with a bit of ultramarine violet. And you see, once you put it there, you put the color down, you'll see because it's on black, it's going to turn a bit green because yellow and black, when you mix them together, you'll get green. So we're mixing earth yellow, which is yellow ochre or yellow oxide, on a green surface, on a black surface. That means that will give you a hint of green in there. Okay, now let's move on to the bottom part. First, the one in the back, the small one. This is hidden in, it's hidden in the shadow area. That one is more highlighted right there, but we're not going to highlight it right now. We're going to do exactly the same. We're going to have a base that it's dark, which is again yellow ochre and ultramarine violet. Make sure that we cover the black. And I usually follow what I see. If I see darker, value, I darken it, but not highlighted yet. Not highlight. Darken, yes, but not highlight. Now, I used a bit of water in my color for this next step. So I took ultramarine violet, I put a bit of water in it, and then I just came here and added another layer, soft layer of ultramarine violet. Now, if I want to darken more, that's the only way to do it, is to do it softly and take my time. Wait for it to dry, add another layer of ultramarine violet, because ultramarine violet is the color that is going to make it darker. It's a soft color. It's not going to make it harsh, but it's going to darken it. So I'm using right now just ultramarine violet just to make sure that this area is darker. Okay, and one more, just ultramarine violet over here. Okay, now let's take yellow ochre. It's getting a bit dry. I'm just dipping the tip of my brush in water and take a bit of cadmium yellow light, mix it with my yellow ochre that has a touch of ultramarine violet in it. Come here with the tip of my brush, just kind of a dabbing, soft dabbing. Bottom of this leaf, I have a bit more light in here. Again, I might need white.
Sorry, Leah, what did you say to put on top of that? I missed it, sorry.
Top of...
What do you put, what color are you using right now?
Oh, white. I'm adding a touch of white.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for this side, for here, you'll see now in a minute. Just kind of use your brush very gentle on top, really gently. Okay. Because you don't want it to jump, you don't want it to be so strong. And if it is, if you find that you put the color and the color is turning really too strong, just use ultramarine violet and glaze it, tone it down. Okay. This is just right now yellow ochre and a bit of ultramarine violet in it. I'm just adjusting this area here because when you wait for it to dry, usually with acrylics you have to go back and adjust colors. Okay.
What are you using to adjust that at the bottom?
Ultramarine violet and yellow ochre. And I can see I went further out or in with my highlights. So to tone them down, I am using ultramarine violet, only ultramarine violet, with a bit of water and making it more transparent. All right, I can see now there's a problem. The shape I have here is not the right shape. So with the background, I'm using black. I am reshaping. I'm going to open up as well. I'm going to open up this from here down here a bit. Not really opening up it. I am actually redefining this area, just defining it with a bit of black. And reshaping the leaf itself using negative painting. Okay. Better. Okay. Start recording. Yellow ochre and ultramarine violet. And if you're using yellow oxide, you'll find that the yellow oxide is a bit more greenish than yellow ochre. I have quite a bit of water in here because the reason I'm not a lot though, not a lot, just a bit. So my paint is not that opaque because I want it to dry. When it dries, I want it to dry darker because of the black underneath, and because I want it to be a bit more green. Let's put another layer here on the next one. And the next one down is a bit darker, so I'm increasing the amount of ultramarine violet. Again, down here. I'm putting a bit more ultramarine violet now. Just want to come here and then darken a bit this area. This area in here should be a bit darker, and then it becomes lighter. So I'm going to to lighten this, make it a bit lighter. I'm going to, add a bit more yellow ochre in here. I can see a bit of red in this here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All We can glaze this later on. It's a glaze. It shouldn't be a color, it should be a glaze. But for now, let's just kind of slowly highlight a bit. This, we don't need to highlight this too much down here. Just the bottom part. Okay. All right, so let's take sap green. And if you still have some black in there, in here, if you have black, add a bit of black to your sap green. So I'm taking sap green right there. Just wet my brush a bit. And then take sap green. I'm sorry, take black, put it in sap green. Okay.
Got something on my palette. I'm not sure if it's black or Payne's gray. Does it matter?
Yeah, no, it'll go to, if you highlight it, it will turn a bit blue, but
That's okay.
But no, it's okay.
I'm not sure what it is.
It's okay. Take a touch of cadmium yellow light and add it to that. Just a bit. Enough for us to see the color. Because when you add black to sap green, the color is going to go really dark. And I'm going to come here. Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry. Go back. Rewind. Instead, okay, sap green, black, and instead of cadmium yellow light, take yellow ochre. I apologize. It's yellow ochre. We're not at the point where, at the stage where we're going to use cadmium yellow light yet. We're still in the dark stage. Okay, yellow ochre. Perfect. Darker. I personally like to put green all over, dark green first, as a first layer, before I start highlighting. I don't want to highlight and add yellow over black.
Did you go all over that leaf with that?
Yes.
Could be fairly dark then.
Yeah, I mean, see how it's like a dark olive green,
Yeah,
dark olive green, yes. Now, wipe my brush, dip the tip of my brush in water, go back to the same combination, sap green, black, touch of black, and yellow ochre in here. So I have a dark, kind of a dark earthy green or olive green in here. Okay, now I'm going to start highlighting. So I'm going to take cadmium yellow light and put it in here, in one of, like in a small corner of the master color that I have. And I'm going to come here. And exactly what I see highlights. I'm going to start with that. Okay.
Add to lighten.
To lighten it, to make it lighter?
Yeah.
Cadmium yellow light.
Oh.
That's what I'm using, cadmium yellow light. But no, not here, only here. Only this tip here. Only this tip. See that little tip right there?
Yeah.
Right here? That's where I use a bit of cadmium yellow light with with the three colors that I combined in here, not by itself. So what I did is, all right, I'll do it one more time. I take sap green, black, and yellow ochre or yellow oxide. And this is my master color. This is my master bunch combination grouping. And in this, I'm going to take other colors and dip them in. So I'm going to highlight, take cadmium yellow light. Don't put the whole thing in it, just part of it, because we're going to need the master color for the other. And just highlight the tip in here. Now, when you go back, when you start going in for the rest of the leaf, take some yellow ochre and put it in that color. So you don't want your color, when you go further in to highlight the rest of the leaf, you don't want it to be too light. You want it to be there as a highlight, but not too strong. I think I need to. Let it dry. Right. If you're ready to move on, we're going to let this dry because we're going to come back and highlight a little bit more with a smaller brush once it's dry. Okay. Now go back to this. Oh. Right, perfect colors for to put first layer. Good colors. I know there's a little kind of leaf in here that I personally missed right there.
Oh, the floater.
Do I want to bother?
No.
It's
All
all
right.
right.
Thank you.
It looks very nice.
Okay, good, good. All right, now, do you want me to wait? Or shall I start highlighting?
You wait for, I'd appreciate a minute if I could.
Sure. Okay, so this is the same, I'm going to call it master mixing, whatever here, this. So it's sap green, black, and yellow ochre. And in this, I'm going to dip different colors to highlight or to darken. I'm going to take actually a smaller brush, round, tiny, and I'm going to take cadmium yellow light. We choose a corner of that mixture because I don't want to put cadmium yellow light in the whole mixture to make it lighter. There, right here. And I'm going to come here. And I know I highlighted this before, but it needs a bit more. So first what I'm going to do is, oh, geez. Okay. Sorry. And I'm going to highlight over here. Just here. This is where the leaf bends. Again. Good. Now, this is a bit too strong as far as highlight. It's okay. I'm going to take a bit of yellow ochre and glaze it. Okay. Now let's highlight this, the one in the front. Oh, this is a bit tricky. Cadmium yellow light. Wipe my brush. I can see that the leaf bends in here. Like there's an interesting pattern in here. There's a strong highlight in here, and then it becomes a bit darker, more olivey. So I'm going to go back to this one here and add a bit more of the yellow ochre. Ah, perfect. Perfect. And a bit here too. Okay, this one should be a bit darker. This part here. So I'm going to add a bit of black to my green.
Leial, you're not blending, no?
Just
You leave it a little bit. which is very nice, actually.
Look, not really blending yet. A bit. I'm going to be going back because this is just the start. You know, just kind of placing where the highlight is. I just want to see where the strong highlight is because the highlight shapes the leaf.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, this part right here is it's dark, but it's not that strong. Like it's not really kind of black dark. And the back here needs to be highlighted. So I'm highlighting mostly with an olive green kind of, and I'm highlighting really carefully. I think I need to switch to a smaller brush for more control of the highlights. I'm softening the edge between the light and dark. I'm going to highlight a bit more. So I'm taking cadmium yellow light and adding it to my yellow in here. Wipe my brush. Come back here. There's a strong highlight in here. And if it's, by the time it dries, if it's still strong, which I think it's going to be strong, but I'll glaze it and tone it down. Well, it's kind of not easy because what you're trying to do is highlight, but at the same time, it should be always like toned down highlight, which is not easy. It's not a strong highlight. It's a green that has yellow ochre in it. what I'm doing here is I'm just, I'm going to go back when I do this, when I reshape the leaf from outside using negative painting, I go back and I adjust the background color. Give it a bit of detail in here, just a bit, because this is where what happens where the highlight is. You'll see a bit more detail on the leaf. All right, I think that's enough. I used a bit of white, touch of white in my green, a bit, just to give it that shiny look, which we're going to use on the other ones too. All right, if anything needs to be adjusted, I'll adjust it once it's dry, so I can glaze any area that needs to be glazed. All right. I'm going to stop recording for now. Okay. I'm going to take again, same combination of sap green, put a bit of touch of black in it, and yellow ochre. This one has a bit more green in it and yellow. The other ones were a bit darker, kind of. This one here is brighter because of this, because of the light. Okay. I'm adding cadmium yellow light. And I'm highlighting away from the deep center in there. And I'm highlighting slowly. Okay, I'm going to take yellow ochre. And try again, one more layer. This is a very, very gentle kind of very slowly adding different layers of highlights slowly. Again, this time I'm going to take a touch of white, very small amount of white. Try again. And you see, I'm getting some very soft highlights. Bit of white, cadmium yellow light. Okay, I'm going to switch brushes to the small one now. Okay, white, cadmium yellow light, but more white in there. And I'm going to bring that combination of white and cadmium yellow light to the green in here. Watery. Again, watery. That's more like a watered kind of, it's not a thick, opaque color in here. More white and yellow. Oh, wow. This side has more highlights on it than this side, than here. So, but at the same time, you don't want to have a line, merge them a bit. There, soften this. A great exercise in values. You really don't see those values until you look carefully at the reference at each and every leaf, and you see the values. You see so many different values in there that you don't see it if you're just looking, but you're not painting. But if you're painting, you'll see them more. I mean, you see that here, where I'm painting right now, is a bit lighter than this side. This side is a bit lighter than this side. Awesome, it's amazing.
So you add white or
yeah, a bit of that
bit of white.
Yeah, a bit of white and yellow in the green here. So I take it from here, and then I put it here, and it gives me a bit of a highlighted, see? But it's not too strong, right? It's not like
Did you add water in your color?
Yes, if I,
to keep
yes.
it. Ah, okay.
Yes,
Because,
yes. Yes.
it's gonna dry. Yeah.
Yes. And it is drying.
Yeah,
on me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
I
always,
know.
yeah, I'm always dipping my brush in water to make sure it's wet.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I highlight, you know, once I highlight, because it dries darker, I adjust my highlight when it's dry, when it's dry. I go back, and if it needs to be highlighted more, I highlight it more, or darken it, or glaze it, or needs whatever it needs.
Yeah.
I think glazing, when meaning that I'm using a thin color that's not too thick in cases like this, is the best thing to do.
With water.
Yeah.
We don't use the other one, the clear gesso.
No, no.
Water is better?
For this, yes.
No. In general, I mean.
In general, it depends on
Yes.
no, I do use the other one. I use clear gesso, but it depends on what I'm doing. If it's very, if it's something like this, which is very delicate. Yeah. I try not to use clear gesso. I can control this more with water than clear gesso.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Clear gesso is better in bigger surfaces.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use clear gesso, so you're more familiar with.
In big, yeah. But then clear gesso changes the color.
Oh, it does?
Yes, lighter.
Oh, yes, because it makes it
so
more transparent.
Yeah.
More transparent.
So
You're
it's
right.
better to use water in this particular case.
Yes, you're right. So if you want an object to look like it's shiny, you use the white,
yeah.
Concentrated in one area, just a small amount. That will make it look like it's shiny. So you use it, let's say what I'm doing right now, I use it here only. That's a very, very small amount. And then all around it should be slightly darker.
Very nice.
Thank you.
It's like real, Lael.
Thank you. I was just going to let it dry, and then I can adjust it after if it needs to be adjusted.